The small, quiet home. The air in the room was thick with the scent of wood smoke and damp earth. Amma sat on the edge of a bed she shared with her younger brother Kofi, listening to the rhythmic thump-thump of her mother Efua pounding fufu in the courtyard. It was a sound that defined her childhood, the sound of labor. The walls of their home in the outskirts of Kumasi were a map of their struggles. Water, stains formed jagged continents on the plaster, and the floorboards groaned under the weight of even a child's footstep. Every coin in that house was a soldier, fought for and defended. Amma watched her mother come inside, wiping sweat from her brow with a faded cloth. Her mother's hands were calloused, the skin like leather from years of washing other people's, clothes and tilling soil that wasn't hers. "Amma," her mother said softly, "take this to the market. It is the last of the yams. Do not settle for LOW price. We need the kerosene for the lamps tonight." Amma took the basket, but her eyes weren't on the yams. They were on her mother's feet, cracked and bare. In that moment, a cold, hard knot tied itself in Amma's chest. It wasn't just sadness. It was a quiet, burning rage. "Will not live like this," she thought. "One will not die like this." As she walked to the market, Amma saw the world in two colors, the gray of the struggle and the gold of the big men in their air-conditioned SUVs that sped past, splashing muddy water onto her only skirt. She watched the way people bowed to the wealthy. She saw how a person with a full wallet was never invisible. In the marketplace, she didn't just sell yams, she observed. She watched the merchants, the traders, the way money moved like water through the stalls. While other girls her age dreamed of marriage or danced under the moonlight, Amma spent her nights under the dim flicker of the kerosene lamp her mother worked so hard to keep lit. She didn't read for pleasure. She read to escape. She studied accounting books she found in the trash behind the university. She taught herself the language of numbers, the only language she believed couldn't lie to her, the sacrifice of the heart. Years bled into one another. The young girl with the basket of yams became a woman with a briefcase. But the journey from the mud to the marble was paved with things Amma chose to leave behind. The first sacrifice, friendship. There was a boy, Kwesi, who lived 3 houses down. He used to bring Amma wildflowers and promised to build her a house one day. He was kind, and his laughter was like music. But Kwesi wanted a simple life. He wanted a family, a small garden, and peace. "Peace doesn't pay the bills," Amma told him one evening, her voice like flint striking steel. When he asked her to stay for the village festival, she packed her bags for the city. She didn't look back. She couldn't. To look back was to risk falling back into the dust. The second sacrifice, family. As her business, a logistics and shipping firm, began to take root in Accra, the calls from home became distractions. "Amma, your brother needs help with his school fees," her mother would say over the crackling phone line. "I sent the money, Mama. I don't have time to talk. I have a meeting with the Port Authority." She sent the money, yes, but she kept her heart. She began to view her family as expenses rather than people. She was building an empire, and empires require walls.